I'm born ready.
Hi there and welcome to From Ideas to Results. I'm joined by Holly from our content team and we're going to be exploring all the things happening in the world of content. But today we are going to be diving into the fundamentals. So not all the shiny, flashy stuff, but it's all about what are the core things that actually drive performance. So when we talk about building on solid ground,
Yes.
what does that mean?
We love shiny, new stuff. It's always good to be at the forefront of what's going on. However, you cannot ignore the fundamentals. And the key thing that we've been talking to both prospective and current clients is that you cannot build a house on jelly foundations.
I'd like to see that. I feel like a sort of a ChatGPT image creation right there. How does, I guess, focusing on those foundations, the fundamentals, how does that help build trust and ultimately drive that performance?
So you have brand consistency, which we've spoken about before, which is really important. And then also it's like not making content for content's sake. A lot of the time we have people come to us and say, you know, we are creating perhaps blog content or we're doing long form content. We're not seeing the results we want. Ultimately, usually it comes down to them not actually looking at it from a strategic point of view. So they're not addressing their audience. They're not actually looking at the pain points. They're not looking at the wants and the needs.
And this is a big thing, actually. I was at the event yesterday, and again, they were talking about, you know, AI's impact on everything, but specifically digital marketing and looking at content. And again, there was a general conversation about, oh, now people create thousands of pages and loads of content using AI, which should be doing that.
Yeah.
And that is what you're talking about. Actually, that is the problem, that people are over-reliant perhaps and not thinking about quality. They're really focused on quantity.
I've personally had this before, and when I've been looking at strategies, always thinking the team was like, why are you making that content? So a lot of the times when we do audit, understanding why they even have that content, what's it serving? It's not laddered into what their audience needs. It's not laddered into any of their brand focus points. It's not laddered into their marketing goals. So yes, it's there, but it's just noise. So you've got to cut back from that noise.
So I've heard you and the team refer to the content flywheel. What is this?
It is your go-to guide. So before you go to create content or you're looking at your strategy, again, go back to what are those key factors, really understanding your audiences. We spoke about it last time in terms of that humanistic side. And again, in terms of how people are actually searching based on what they need and the answers. So again, we're seeing lots of like long tail keywords being used versus other types and trying to boost brand entity as well. It really is your little key kit list to make sure that you are doing exactly what you need to be doing.
And in terms of auditing the channels and the strategy before you start, sometimes people go straight to production.
It's easy to be like, all right, cool, we need to now just produce this. Let's just start doing this. More often than not, you'll see there are lots of like similar types of content we're seeing. And again, when you're looking from a wider marketing point of view, that could actually be affecting your SEO results as well, but also looking at it to make sure you have a full mix that you're targeting all of your audiences.
That's part of the danger, I think, of AI that I've seen is actually people go straight to production, but actually spending that time on thinking about what it is that you're trying to achieve, you obviously get a much better outcome. And in terms of kind of results, like what are we seeing as a result of these more thought through, more strategic approach to content?
Yeah, so we have actually seen, particularly in the B2C side, an uplift in engagement. So it's growing your online community, right? It's growing your brand's community. And this all boosts in with your brand equity, right? It's all making you appear better and more precise and exactly where you want to be in your market. And particularly as everything's getting a lot more competitive, as we've spoken about with AI overviews, it's just really important to do.
How important is it to align the content with the audience in terms of their pain points and passions as well?
Yeah, the thing is, you can spend a lot of time and effort creating content for content's sake. It's not going to do anything and it's not going to work hard for you and it's not going to work on your marketing goals. So it's really a choice. If you just do a little bit of work at front end, hit your fundamentals right, work on your strategy, and then start methodically working through your content, then that will work much harder for you.
So in terms of like what do people need to do next?
So before you build, clean the slate. So do that audit and actually work out all your buyer personas as well. Make sure again you've got those all locked down, and then you can see from your audit and your buyer personas what you've already got, so what might need tweaking, and then where your gaps are.
Well, there we go. Those are the kind of key things to be focusing on. Again, it's sometimes very easy to get caught up with the flashy tools, the exciting stuff, which we do absolutely love. But at the same time, it's always important to kind of circle back and remind ourselves that actually that performance is built on a solid set of foundations, not the jelly foundations that you mentioned for a house. Hope you enjoyed that. Do check out our content on our website, on our socials, and we'll see you next time.